Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines. State President Trương Tấn Sang attended the inauguration ceremony for the Technical Center at the Ho Chi Minh City Heart Institute. In the first 7 months of this year, the import-export turnover of foreign invested enterprises reached $118.8 billion. The northern province of Phú Thọ tries its best to preserve and revive swan singing. The Technical Center of the Ho Chi Minh City Heart Institute was inaugurated on August 23rd. State President Trương Tấn Sang attended the inauguration ceremony.
Established in 1991, the Ho Chi Minh City Heart Institute has been leading the southern region in treating cardiology-related diseases and deformities. The project to restore and upgrade the Institute's technical center has a total investment of more than 102 billion dong, equivalent to $453,000. It was designed to meet the needs of the Institute staff and is seen as a big step to fully improve the Institute's facilities. After 2 years of construction, the 18,200 square meter center is expected to facilitate the public's access to high-quality health services and reduce overload in cardiology facilities in southern localities.
The August Consumer Price Index dropped in the southern largest economic hub of Ho Chi Minh City, while witnessing a rise in the capital city of Hanoi. More in the following. The Ho Chi Minh City Statistics Office reported the August CPI declined 0.12% from the previous month, helping to contain the annual rise in the first 8 months of the year at 0.66%. 6 out of the 11 main goods categories had their prices down, with transport prices seeing the rapid month-on-month decrease of 2.4% due to 2 petrol price cuts in August. Housing, electricity, water, fuel, and construction material prices were down 0.66%, the same pace in the cultural and entertainment category. Decreases were also seen in the price of household appliances, down 0.01%, and goods and other services, down 0.32%. The cost of apparel, hats, footwear, pharmaceuticals, and medical services remained almost static this month. Meanwhile, the index rose by 0.17% in Hanoi as compared with the previous month. Up to 8 out of the 11 main goods categories saw price hikes, with education recording the highest jump of 2.9%. Only 2 goods categories enjoyed price drops in the month. Prices of housing, electricity, water, fuel, and construction materials decreased by 0.49%, while those of transport services plunged over 2%. The General Department of Customs has reported that in the first 7 months of this year, the import-export turnover of foreign invested enterprises rose by 21.7% year-on-year to $118.8 billion. The figure accounts for 63.5% of the country's total import-export value.
Between January and July, FDI businesses operating in Vietnam saw a trade surplus of almost $3.5 billion. Specifically, the FDI sector earned more than $62 billion from exports, a year-on-year surge of over 20%, contributing 68% to the country's export revenues. Meanwhile, foreign invested companies spent $56.7 billion on imports, over 23% higher than the figure of the same period last year. Currently, as many as 101 countries and territories are investing in Vietnam, with 18,220 FDI projects worth about $260 billion.
The Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers (VASEP) has warned that the country will face more difficulties in exporting shrimps due to the fluctuating exchange rate and increasing costs of materials and labor. According to VASEP, the country's earnings from shrimp export are forecast to reach $3.2 billion in 2015, down $900 million from last year. The decline is attributed to the fluctuation of the exchange rate. The association predicts that the fluctuation of the exchange rate will spread to all the regional countries following the devaluation of the Chinese yuan. This will make Vietnamese shrimp find it hard to compete with products from other nations such as India, Thailand, and Ecuador. Statistics released by the General Department of Customs show that shrimp exports hit $1.3 billion in the first half of this year, a year-on-year decrease of 28%. Business climate improvement in tandem with national competitive edge empowerment is critical for Vietnam's general development. However, many ministries and localities have been criticized for their hesitancy and inaction in these areas. Resolution 19, ratified by the government this year, has helped many localities and Northern Bắc Ninh province in particular take steps in business environment improvement.
We highly valued the resolution's detailed guidelines, which provided localities with authentic measurements of the efficacy of administrative reforms and business climate enhancement.
Not only providing guidelines, the resolution also pointed out concrete tasks and resolutions to raise the nation's business environment rankings to the ASEAN Top 6 this year and ASEAN Top 4 next year. Following last year's Resolution 19, this year's document offers new thoughts for Vietnam's business environment reforms that meet international standards.
Going beyond the general directions as before, the current resolution directs concrete tasks for ministries and localities. I believe that it will create breakthroughs for the nation's business climate improvement.
However, a report by the Ministry of Planning and Investment has revealed that only a moderate 12 ministries and 12 localities have submitted action plans thus far. It's hard to bring the resolution to life when the central government is willing to pursue the work, but localities and ministries are failing to cooperate. Although administrative reforms have been carried out for many years, localities say they are still facing difficulties with the new resolution. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng said at a recent teleconference that all stakeholders should consider business environment improvement and national competitive edge empowerment a focal point in the country's socio-economic development. The government has decided to establish Dù Gia National Park on the Dong Văn Cát Plateau in the northern mountainous province of Hà Giang. Let's take a look.
The 15,000-hectare park is formed by merging the Dù Gia Nature Reserve and Khao Kha Species and Habitat Conservation Area. It spreads over 3 communes of Tung Bá, Vị Xuyên District, Minh Sơn, Bắc Mê District, and Dù Gia, Yên Minh District. The zoned area is to protect the local evergreen ecosystem and rare and endangered animals and plants, while preserving protection forests in Cam River Basin, contributing to stabilizing agricultural and industrial production in the area. Additionally, the park is expected to boost ecotourism, raise locals' awareness of environment protection, and facilitate scientific research in the area. The park has a 8,850-hectare buffer zone across 6 communes in districts of Yên Minh, Bắc Mê, Vị Xuyên, and Quan Bạ. The Prime Minister has assigned the Provincial People's Committee to manage the park and designed a development project for the park and its buffer zone.
Swan singing artisans in the northern Midland province of Phú Thọ and the provincial authorities have been undertaking all necessary measures to preserve and revive swan singing, as well as bring the unique singing closer to communities. These young yet talented swan performers are on tour in Hanoi. They are high school students from Phú Thọ province. Many have studied swan singing for several years and showed huge interest in the traditional art form. Swan singing, one of the oldest forms of Vietnamese performing arts, was listed by UNESCO among the world's intangible cultural heritages in need of urgent safeguarding in 2011. As a result, an array of swan singing performances and publicity events have been organized at home and abroad, and training activities have been conducted to ensure the continuity of the traditional rituals, practices, and festivals. I have been learning swan singing for nearly 10 years. At first, it was hard to perform the singing and the dances at the same time. But everything became simpler thanks to predecessors' instructions. I will keep on practicing singing at school every Saturday and Sunday. These youngsters are members of the An Thai Club, one of the 4 oldest swan singing guilds in Phú Thọ province. We hold swan singing classes regularly for local youngsters and communities with the aim to preserve and promote the traditional art form. Phú Thọ province has mapped out a plan on preserving swan singing and teaching the youth to practice it. My friends and I have learned swan singing for a period of time. Now I'm able to perform 6 swan songs. Phú Thọ now has 23 swan singing guilds with 950 members, a 20-fold increase just over the past 5 years. The province's swan singing training program has proven efficient, greatly contributing to the success of the swan singing preservation plan. As the result, between 2013 and 2015, the province had 62 artisans and 100 youngsters trained in swan singing.
In the past, very few people were keen on swan singing. But we have exerted efforts to communicate the significance of the traditional singing to local residents, and now the number of members of our guilds have increased to nearly 40.
The provincial authorities are working with the Vietnam Cultural Heritage Association on a document to submit to UNESCO by the end of this year, proposing swan singing be removed from the organization's list of heritages in need of urgent protection. Other efforts have been made to bring the singing closer to communities.
We will back collaboration with music researchers to study and couple swan singing with other musical instruments such as flutes, with the hope of making the traditional music more intriguing for listeners.
Apart from the establishment of additional swan singing guilds, Phú Thọ province has attempted to increase the teaching and practice of swan singing at schools. Furthermore, it has also combined the singing with tourism products to lure tourists. A number of projects have been carried out to preserve and maintain swan singing-related relic sites in the locality. Swan singing is believed to have been developed during the reign of Hung Kings, 2890 to 250 before Christ. The singing is traditionally performed in sacred places such as temples, shrines, and communal houses during spring festivals. There are 3 kinds of swan singing, including songs of worship for home kings and village guardian spirits, ritual songs for bumper crops, health and luck, and festival songs. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye for now.